Right, it's the day before we're going out on our first camping trip in the van, and it hasn't started off very well, if I must say. It actually started a couple of days ago, so we've had a bit of a spat of rain recently, and it's been quite windy. Now obviously, if you noticed the videos on the channel, you see I've been using the van every day back and forth to work for a couple of months now, is it? I don't know. And everything's been hunky-dory. I haven't had any more roof leaks. If you've been a long time subscriber as well, you've noticed I've had a few problems with leaks in the roof while I've been building it. Since I've been driving it, it has rained a few times. I've washed the van a couple of times. But earlier on this week, I got to work and noticed a huge puddle in this area, and the bottom of my curtain was soaking wet. And I was like, where the hell is that coming from? Mopped up the water, and then it didn't do it for a couple of days. Now, the day before we're going on this trip, I've noticed it's leaking again.
Well, that's just typical.
All I had to go by is just past the runner there. The roof line in the cab was wet in this area. So I'm thinking, is it the cable pass through, the cable gland thing leaking? And turns out it isn't that. It's the same old problem as we've had before. It's the mounts for the roof rack. So it's the bits of metal welded to the roof, spot welded on, that enable you then to fit a roof rack onto it. And they're only, at the most, there's 2 spot welds on either side, but I'm pretty sure there's just 1. So it's not a lot. It's a bit of a shit design, if I'm honest. But by here now, bit of a flaw in the design, because obviously you know the curve of the roof on these Trafics and Bravaros. We get a low spot here, and then you end up getting a puddle in this area while the van is on horizontal ground. Where I park at night is on a little bit of a slope, so obviously that means I don't get any water coming in overnight. It's only when I come to work and it's raining that I get it, because it's pooling up in this area. I pulled this seal back so it all flipping poured down here, because it was up to about that bracket there, filled with water. I just got a cloth there acting as a dam. You can see it just getting past it now. So I'm pretty sure it's coming in through there, because as soon as I pulled the water away from this area, it stopped leaking inside. And I could physically see it coming through this join in the B pillar there. I don't know whether you can make it out, the flipping, yeah, but there. There's a big trickle coming all the way down here, and then it's a little bit wet in the corner now. So I'm gonna have to put some sealer around that now. I got the hot air gun out ready. It ain't gonna be pretty, mind, but I'm just gonna put just a big lumps of sealer all the way around that, just to stop the water coming in. So for now, I just flipping banged a load of sealer in there. It's flipping not the best, but you can see the water pooling up there now. So as soon as that reaches that bracket, it finds a hole and comes in then. So yeah, I think once the weather gets a bit nicer, and maybe when I've got my diary booked up with other things to do and we're not going away anywhere, then maybe I can do some maintenance on the van and maybe whip the roof rack off and seal them all up properly. Right, now that that's sorted, I've put all the tools away, let's do what this video was meant to be about in the first place. So, updates on the van just before we're going away, and buying things in preparation for going away as well. And the first new addition you can see when you open the side door in the van is we got some cushions for the bench seat. Now I was going to have a crack at doing this myself, because my folks do have a sewing machine. So I was looking into buying some sponge and some fabric. But to be fair, the price of sponge, well, the places I was looking at, well, that's a bit flipping spicy. So I was having a look on eBay, and there's quite a few people on there just advertising, you know, send us measurements and we'll make some flipping cushions for you. So I just contacted one of them, and the price of them supplying the materials, the sponge, the cloth, making them, posting them, is cheaper than I could get the materials for myself, and then having to make them myself as well. So I thought, let's have a crack at it. Now, we know how the stitching on the door card inserts turned out when I asked someone else to do it. Rubbish. These haven't turned out too bad. The only thing I'm a bit gutted about is there's no zip on them, so you can't take the covers off to give them a wash. And I think the corners could have been done a little bit better than that myself, but hey ho, it'll do for a first job. We've also got the bedding in now. I don't think I've showed that before, so we went with blue to match the outside of the van. So in preparation for our first camping trip, I got some cups, plastic cups. This little pot here, that will get opened the most, I reckon. So yeah, we got tea, coffee and sugar containers ready, and I've got a little travel kettle, electric one. I was looking for a little kettle because obviously the stove is in the back when you open the back doors. Well, if you're waking up in the morning all sleepy eyed and everything, you don't want to be getting your clothes on, all of them, and going outside, especially if it's pissing down, to have to make a cup of tea on the stove. So I thought I'd get two ways of making a cuppa. We get a little electric one. We can plug it in the sockets by there via the inverter, and obviously because I've only got a 1000-watt inverter, I had to look for one that was low powered. So apparently this is 700 watts, so hopefully it doesn't trip the inverter and send the little warning siren off. Also got some scatter cushions, pair of them with the bench seat cushions. I don't know how long they'll last in the van. They might get in the way and do my head in, but they're in there for now. Mounted this reading light. I haven't put the fuse in it yet though, so that'll only take 2 minutes. Can't mount the base of this onto metal because it's touch sensitive light, so you gotta mount it onto wood. So as it happens, in this corner there was a tiny, where I was covering the metalwork with the tweed fabric, there was a tiny bit that I had to do a relief cut and you could still see the paintwork in it. Being as I had to mount the switch, the light onto a bit of wood, I thought that kills two birds with one stone, and it hides the gap in the fabric, be able to mount this. And so yeah, I just made a shape for that, covered it in the same fabric as well, and yeah, Bob's your uncle, that's on there, and it's sorted two problems out. And then at the same time, because we had the same gap in the fabric on this side, I thought, well, might as well make it symmetrical and do the same on this side. I finally put the remaining upper rear drawer in. I had to shave tons off the top because of my mistake with the vinyl floor. Check that video out, you have to scroll back a bit to find out what I did. Also got these little nifty little leather handles on there. On the passenger side, because I couldn't put the upper left drawer in because of the fridge wiring, I actually made a new panel, obviously it's not painted yet, to hide the ugly big gaping hole there. Now if we pull the drawer out, you can see some changes on the inside as well. So now we got the table stored away in here. So we needed to find a place where to store the table so it wouldn't get in the way of everything, you know, because it's not small.
That's what she said.
And it made sense that you're gonna need the table when you're cooking anyway. So just put it where the cooking stuff is. And then when you go to cook, you take the table off, set that up, then you start cooking. So that's where I got it, on top of the stove and everything. And all I've got to hold it in so it doesn't slide about. I might improve it, I'm not sure yet, but it's just a little bit of wood there to wedge the front in. And 2 little bits of wood either side of the brackets to stop it going side to side. And it seems to just, yeah, it just wedges in. So yeah, you just unhook it and take it out like that, and then set it up. And then you can either put it inside the van, hook it on the front of the cupboard doors there, or you can, if you want to eat outside, you can hook it on the side of this drawer. While we're in this area as well, I put some hinges on this little compartment, and I put a little one of them things. So this will be for, like, well, knives and forks and utensils in there. I thought it was a good idea, considering we're going away tomorrow as well, to fire the fridge up. I haven't fully tested it out yet, so this has now been on since about lunchtime yesterday. I turned it on and I haven't done anything to the dial or anything yet, so I didn't know what temperature it was sat on. I just turned it on and forgot about it. Came back to it a few hours later and it was on minus 15 degrees. So yeah, we didn't need it set to that. So I've upped it now to 3 degrees. I think that's about right for just chilling stuff. And even with it being on minus 15, and it was overcast yesterday, the battery didn't drop below 100%, the leisure battery, because of the solar panels, which I thought was quite good. So I'm not sure what it's on now, being as the fridge has been running overnight. Well, that's pretty good. Being on all night, it's only down to 95%, and well, we're at about 7 AM at the moment, so the sun's only just starting to come up. Okay, a few more additions to match the cups. We got plates. I'm not really sure what you would use them for. Bowls, frying pan, so the handles fold out, lock in. So yeah, they're really lightweight as well. That one locks in. You got a saucepan with a little lid. Pretty good. So yeah, there you go, like that. They got their own little bag. And then we've also got a little whistling kettle to go on the stove. I've actually fashioned up, because my missus drives an Audi, and with an Audi you get a little care package in the boot of them with all polishes and stuff. It's got auto glint polishes. Well, this is from her old one, so I've kept the polishes in the unit, and I kept the bag because I thought it was quite a handy bag, and I got all tools in there just in case the worst would happen. Got some ratchet straps there, never know when you might need them. We got underneath all that one of those telescopic ladders, and then what I thought I'd definitely need to get, obviously if you're in the middle of nowhere and you happen to run your battery flat, then you need a way of getting going again. So got one of these small booster packs from Noco or Noco. They do all different sizes. This isn't sponsored or anything. I bought this. This is a 500 amp one. They do loads bigger than it. I thought that's plenty for the van this size anyway, and any cars and stuff. I should have had one of these flipping years ago, considering I've had a garage. And then finally we got a grey water container. Now there'd be people thinking, well, why have you got that? Surely you've just got a water system on a van. This van doesn't have a water system yet because I don't think it needs it. It's just a weekend van. I'm not really gonna be doing flipping tons of dishes or anything. You're not living in it, so that's my grey water system if I do need it. And obviously there is a collapsible sink on the end of the kitchen drawer there if you do need to wash something out. I don't plan on doing any washing of dishes on tomorrow's trip, so I haven't bothered to get any of the safe for the environment soap yet. And then finally I got some of that stuff for the porta potty. I hope I don't have to use it. I also forgot to say that I got a little step to get in the side door of the van, because we got the raised suspension now, we got the bigger tyres as well. So the van's raised up about, well, it's over 2 inches. I'd say about 3 inches. And I've also deleted the original step that's there in the side door, just to make the floor flat all the way across. So I needed some kind of step to make it easier to get in and out. So I bought this. So it folds away completely flat, and then all you do is push the pins in, and then it unslots and then clicks in again. So you do that for all 4 legs, and then boom, you got a little step. So yeah, that's pretty much it, what I've done to the van and what I've bought for the van in preparation for tomorrow's first camping trip. Unfortunately, it is also bank holiday weekend, so it will probably be busy. But we're not in a rush or anything, so that doesn't bother me really. The only thing I haven't done in preparation for this camping trip is get the diesel heater running. If I was plumbing it into the van's fuel tank, I probably could have got it done by now, but I don't want to do that. I want to use the tank that it comes with the kit. I'll give reasons for that in its own video. So yeah, I haven't figured out how to mount that and stuff yet, so hopefully it doesn't get too chilly. I have got another throw to go over the blanket, over the duvet, and got hot water bottle as well, and then obviously we got thick coats and thick socks and stuff like that, so hopefully it shouldn't be too bad. It is starting to get warmer, isn't it? So that's it for this video. Wish me luck for tomorrow's camping trip. If you fancy any of the things that I've put in the video, links for them will be in the description. The affiliate links, so I earn a couple of pence or something if you click on them or buy it. Any questions, pop them in the comments. I'll answer them at the end of the next video, whatever the question is about. I think that's about it. Click on the subscribe button if you want to. If you see us out and about, give us a beep, a wave, whatever. See you in the next one. Who parked this flipping transporter yet? I think it's about time we did an update on questions, because well, there haven't been many, mind, so that's probably why I haven't done questions at the end of a video. So someone asked, and it was on my video about my bed, how high are you? So the only way I can really answer that, I'm hoping that it answered your question. From the top of the mattress to the top of the ceiling is 2 foot exactly, and I'm pretty sure the mattress is 4-inch mattress. 2 foot might be a bit cramped for some people, but I've lied down in here. It's just about doable. Any smaller than 2 foot, then yeah, you're gonna feel like you're in a coffin. I had to bring the camera in because it started to piss down again. I also had a question on if the driver's seat can turn all the way around on the swivel. Well, at the moment I've only got it to turn 90 degrees. I don't really want to attempt to turn it 180 degrees at the moment, because to be able to do it, you gotta, that's one reason why I had to get them powered up so that I could move them on the switches. To be able to turn them on the swivel, you gotta move the seats front, forward and back on the electric switches to get it to clear things. I've got the passenger seat to turn 180 degrees. You can't just do it straight off the bat, because it will either hit the B pillar, or like the headrest will hit the sun visors and stuff like that. So it's not a 2-second job. You gotta start turning it and then move the seat back a bit and move the backrest a bit as well. Yeah, bit of a kerfuffle, but being that there's a bench seat by here as well, and there's only 2 seats up front, then that means there's only ever going to be 2 people in it. So really, you only have to swivel the passenger seat. So I don't really know why I bothered to swivel the driver's seat. And yeah, I'm not gonna test it out to see if it'll go 180 degrees, because then it'll upset all my driving position, because I haven't got the memory function wired up. In fact, it will never go back into it, the memory function. So yeah, I'm not doing it. Again, another question on the seats is how much did it all cost? Well, the seats cost £350 delivered for the pair, which I thought is banging value considering what they've come out of. I already had the passenger seat base, which is a driver's seat base out of another van. They go for about, I think, 60-70 quid. I have seen them go as low as 50 quid as well, if you're lucky. Bit of wire, some Wago connectors and stuff. Pack of fuses was about, I don't know, 13 quid or something. And then the swivels, I think I had a bit of a bargain on the swivels at the time, because the swivels fluctuate in price dramatically. I think I had them new as a pair for 70 odd pound, but when I've looked now, they're just over £100, I think. I'm gonna say around the 450 mark. Obviously that's not taking into account my time. Someone asked how the van drives with the pods on the side. Well, I can't tell any difference whatsoever. Maybe if I took the roof rack off, then I might be able to tell, but I still don't reckon I would. And the reason I say that is because the wind that howls underneath the roof rack and the solar panel is quite loud, so if there are any other noises, I can't hear them. Someone said, what size bed can you fit widthways in one of these vans without pods? Well, I'm pretty sure from memory, when you measure it widthways, you got about 5'10" of room. Obviously if you then put insulation on that, then so your closed cell foam, that takes you down to about 5'8", and this is obviously as long as you utilize the window cutout areas. If you board across where your pillars are, then you lose about another 2 inches either side, then something like that. So as long as you utilize as much as the space as you've got, and then stick your insulation on, which is about 1 inch thick, then yeah, 5'10", 5'9", about 5'8" of room, I reckon anyway, if you're clever about it. that would be ideal, in my opinion, for someone that is 5'6" at the maximum, because then you got like an inch spare at the top of your noggin and your feet. Yeah, I wouldn't fancy sleeping in here with bent knees, put it that way. And then finally, someone asked what the tyre size is, and a couple of people have asked me on my Facebook and Instagram as well. So they are 225 75 16s. So with a 16-inch and a 225 wide tyre, I'm pretty sure 75 profile is the biggest you can fit without it starting to rub. It does rub on the front at, say, like half lock, and then once you get past half lock it stops rubbing again. But if we look at the back, you've got small, well, my pinky in between the sill and the tyre. You ain't fitting any more than that in there. It's very close, and well, it ain't much bigger to the rear bumper either.